Like this video and subscribe right now or else I will slap your dog. /entitled parents. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. Entitled mom kills her baby. So not my story, but my friend's. She's a midwife at a very busy hospital, and followed this EM with her pregnancy, with a lot of difficulty because she wouldn't show up at appointments, or show up and demand being seen to when she wasn't scheduled. Entitled the entire pregnancy pretty much. Anyways comes the end of her term, except she doesn't go into labor. No big deal at first, she would just have to come in every few days for my friend to check on the baby and see if she'd need to get induced. Except she straight up refuses to get induced. My friend advises her that for now she doesn't have to be, but later if she doesn't go into labor she'd be risking her life and the baby's, and sets up an appointment for a few days away. A few days later, she's a no-show, so my friend calls. Her patient refuses to go in because she doesn't want to be induced and that her and God know best, it'll come naturally. My friend calls every few days to try to convince the lady to come in, and finally gets the husband on the phone, explains the risks to him. He convinces the lady to come in for a checkup. Still no signs of labor and at this point she's quite a bit overdue. My friend explains once again that EM has to get induced otherwise she risks the baby's and her own life. But EM says the same thing, God and her know best. My friend tells her her baby will die if she leaves the hospital, but EM demands to be discharged. The hospital cannot keep her against her will, since neither her or the baby aren't in immediate danger, meaning she could still maybe wait a day or two if monitored to be induced, so my friend has to let her go. Fast forward a few weeks later, EM is now way past being 3 weeks overdue. 2 weeks overdue is usually the very limit for most hospitals, and comes back complaining of stomach pain. My friend orders an immediate induction and checks with a quick echo to confirm her suspicions. The baby died in the womb, because EM refused being induced and her placenta rot. My friend told me it was awful in the delivery room, not only because they were delivering a dead baby, but also because of the smell of the placenta and the baby. The stomach pains the mother was complaining about was the infection from the rot. And EM didn't even blame herself. She just shrugged it off as God's will and it wasn't meant to be. She made a full recovery and was let go from the hospital. Totally plans on trying for a child again. EM almost kills a kid for not handing over his box. Okay, first of all, this happened to a friend of mine who gave me permission to post this. I was there for the first podcast. Friend. Told from his point of view, so will be using me and I. EM. Entitled Mother You Be, Ungrateful Bastard, Child, PO, Police Officer. Alright, this happened about a year ago. My friend, had a party with a couple of my friends, including OP. It was a fun party. We played lots of games such as Grog, Google it if you don't know it, at a local church we had permission to use for this. We gave it a kind of Stranger Things set up with the dim light hallways with strobe lights. We also had someone in the sound box playing creepy sounds and music, and sometimes announcing clues. Apparently an EM of the church was in the church and didn't like the game we were playing. She went up to F's parents and said hello politely enough, so I didn't know this would be an EP story. She asked what game we were playing and we said Grog. She didn't know what that was, so we said Google it. She did and then said, "Did you get permission from the church to play Hero Boy?" Here we go, we said yes, and she said, "I don't think you do. This game is not appropriate for a church setting. First, none of your business, lady, and second, don't make accusations based on only your bias." We said that, yes, we have permission, and what about Grog makes it inappropriate? It has absolutely nothing to do with Jesus. And, monsters are against Christianity, so you need to stop playing now or I'll call the police. Okay, like seriously? Not only is that absolutely stupid, but the police won't be appreciative of getting an emergency call about how a group of teenagers are playing games that don't involve Jesus at church. We knew this, so I just said, not all games have to involve Jesus Christ in them. We ignored her until we went back to F's house. It turns out EM had followed us to F's place and knocked on the door. F's dad opened it and there was EM and her UB. Hello, can I help you? He said. She ignored him and allowed herself inside, so now she walks over to where F and a friend are having their round in a video game tournament. She sees this and exclaims loudly, "You can't play that. You can't even play on-screen related games without undermining the laws of God." Okay, what? How is playing GROG undermining the laws of God? And why does this deem you unworthy to play this box? F turns around and say, "I'm sorry, what? It's not my fault if you don't like the games we play. You don't have to worry about that." And before you say that was rude, this lady ignored a question and allowed herself to enter a house without permission and yelled at the inhabitants for playing video games. EM gasps and yells, "How you don't get to play games if they are not appropriate for church and they should be taken and given to a responsible child like Minnie." UB is whining and crying that he wants this box. There is more talking and yelling how her kid needs this box and how he's such a grateful little boy, while he screams that he needs this box because there's box 360 isn't good enough. Eventually, EM unplugs the console and tries to take it. F grabs on as well as us. EM is still yelling until we manage to pry the console from her grip. F's mom yells at EM and UB to leave their house or they will call the police. EM was so mad she grabbed her metal water bottle from her purse and started trying to slam it into F's head at top speed. Repeatedly. She's still screaming. F is bleeding from being constantly beaten in the forehead with thick metal. And finally F's mom and dad call 911 reporting child abuse, assault, and trespassing. EM is still so mad she takes her purse with everything in it, including the water bottle, and trying to whack the already bleeding F. She lands a particularly heavy blow on F's arm, and next thing we know, F is on the ground and her AMR is misshapen like it had been broken. We're holding back EM who is still trying to whack F's head. UB is trying to punch us in the genitals. Though he was like 7 and didn't know how to punch or how to deal with much older beings trying to hold back their parent trying to break every bone in their friend's body. Eventually PO comes with other officers and asks what's going on. M wails that people tried to assault her child while they're trying to hit us. We say our story and show F who we are saying needs medical transport. PO calls an ambulance and asks if we have anything concrete. EM says her child saw it all, and he nodded. F's mother, still livid from the attack, tells PO that they had video surveillance. EM calls her bluff. She was wrong. After witnessing the footage, the police asks F's mom and dad if they wanted to press charges. They said absolutely. Last I checked, I have no idea if she went to court, though I don't know if she was stupid enough to pay for someone to defend her in that case. So yeah, maybe EM didn't almost kill F but she severely injured him and tried to kill him, which, by the way, attempt murder was one of the charges. Side note, people have been questioning why the parents did nothing. They didn't. I just thought it wasn't that important because they did the same stuff we did. Edit. I am very aware what the law of God is and other Christian related stuff is. I am a Christian myself. No, my therapy dog isn't going to kill your child. Hi, this is going to be a somewhat short one and partially just a rant about people's ignorance. Also it's not 100% accurate because I was somewhat young and memories didn't fully stick then. The cast is, me NK nice kid ED entitled Dad okay to the story. When I was around 13, my friend, my dog, Chocolate Lab plus Bit, important, and I went to my local park because they were hosting an event where they were giving out free ice cream. And who doesn't like free ice cream? When we got there, we noticed that there were hundreds of people in the park. We thought it was a better idea to split up, my friend go and wait in the line while I waited in the open field with the dog. While waiting in the field with my dog, who was always on a leash may I add, a little boy probably 8? I don't know, walked up to me and asked to pet my dog. NK hello mister, can I pet your puppy? Me sure you can, his name is Rufus and he is very nice, pet him softly on his ears or down his back, he likes that the most. NK was giggling the entire time during this and I always love when people admire my dog. While petting Rufus, EP walks up and sees what's going on and gets a face of absolute fear. He runs up to his kid and violently pulls him away from my dog. who wasn't really paying attention to what was happening at all, being the drama queen he is. ED, how dare you bring that monster here? Me monster? You mean my dog? ED, yes of course I mean your dog. That's a pit bull. Those are child murderers. Me child murderers? Rufus wouldn't hurt a fly. He's a certified therapy dog. He goes to preschool to play with the kids all the time. He doesn't hurt anyone. Eventually it's going to follow its instincts and hurt someone. This struck a nerve in me. I get really mad when people say bad things about my dog because he is the best dog I have ever had or probably will ever have. Me, how dare you say that to my dog? Who gives you the right to call my dog a murderer? Pit bulls aren't violent, they are just trained to be that way. Rufus is the nicest dog I have ever met, and you walk up to me calling him a murderer and ruining your child's time petting a dog. You're too ignorant to know anything other than a stereotype of pit bulls than to actually let your child have a good time. ED kind of is stunned having a preteen yelling at him. He scoffs and walks off with his kid. I was still steaming with anger when my friend returns with 2 cones of ice cream and I explained what happened while he was gone. Obviously my dog being the good boy he is attempted to cheer me up. Oh, you survived. Now sub. Please.